Hello my friend, just here are some brand new interfaces from the guys over at ESI Audio. There's the i1, 2 and 4, all part of the Amber series. We've got some very cool features. Let's dive in, check them out. So let's kick things off with the Amber i4, the most feature-laden of the three interfaces. From left to right, you've got two combi ins, both with independent gain controls and their own input buttons. Switching the input button when an XLR lead is inserted will alternate it between 48 volt phantom power on and off. If you put in a 1/4 inch jack, then they'll alternate between line and high Z. Moving along, you've got what ESI Audio describe as ADM, or Advanced Direct Monitoring. Firstly, what this means is you can access direct monitoring just by a touch of a button, making it really easy if you've got any latency issues to access direct monitoring. But ADM takes things a step further, allowing you to have individual monitoring levels for each individual input. This could be really useful indeed if, for example, you were recording a live band. Past the rather snazzy LCD display screen, and we've got another really great monitoring option. The mix knob allows you to blend your input signal with your DAW signal. This was a feature that I had many years ago on a Roland quad capture interface, and I found it really handy indeed. Really missed it on my Focusrite interface, so this is a very welcome addition. Now, because the i4 has the potential to send out to two different sets of studio monitors, you also have the option to A/B the output. And if you hold your finger down on that button, you can also alter the routing of the headphone signals. The big Amber volume knob also doubles as an input and selection control, and also has a very handy one-touch mute. And next to that, you'll find two headphone inputs, both with their independent level controls. Super handy if you're two people recording and you don't have a headphone amplifier. I love having two headphone inputs, even when I'm working on my own, so I can have a set of open back and close back ready to go. The i4 can be bus powered, running off your computer, or for some more reliability, run off a 5 volt adapter. You'll also find MIDI ins and outs, those four outputs that I mentioned earlier, alongside two 1/4 inch inputs in the back panel. The i2 is a very similar setup, just a few more features missing than what we found on the i4. As there's now only two outputs, there's only the facility to connect one set of studio monitors, so there's no longer any A/B-ing options. There's also only one headphone input, and for input options, you've got two combi ins only. And down to the i1, an excellent interface for beginners, where we find one combi input and one 1/4 inch. Both have their own gain controls, and the input can be selected by the input switch. The i1 still features that very handy input monitoring control, one headphone input, and unlike the other two, no option for MIDI in and out on the back panel. All of these interfaces feel really quite light, but certainly solid enough to survive sitting on your desk. So we're now recording with the Amber i4. I've got this condenser microphone running through input 1, and I'm utilising the 48 volt phantom power. As you'd expect from a modern interface, it all sounds very clear. I've been using this interface for the last week or two compared to my Focusrite AI6. Can't say I've noticed any latency difference whatsoever. It was very easy to set up with Studio One. I got it up and running within a matter of minutes. For Mac users, it's a case of plug in and go, whereas for Windows users, you will need to download some drivers. But there's not really anything else to report. Compared to my Focusrite, everything's just worked just the same. Well, as I've got the Focusrite right here, let's do a little bit of A/B testing on some acoustic and electric guitars. Anyone else thinking what I'm thinking? I'm really surprised. In fact, I'm bordering on shocked just how much more I prefer the sound of the Amber preamps over the Focusrite Scarlett. With the Amber interface, to me the electric guitar sounded a lot more gutsy in the low mids and certainly made the Focusrite sound somewhat harsh and brittle and scratchy. Whilst it's not exactly a scientific test, I did take a lot of care to try and match the gain levels and also demonstrate the guitars with and without the amp sims. On both occasions, it was a big win for the ESI Amber interface. What did you think about that test? Let me know in the comments box below. Let's check out the acoustic guitar. Unpleasant ring in this room aside, for me the acoustic guitar test was again a win for the ESI Audio Amber interface. The pre's on the Focusrite certainly suited the acoustic better than they did on the electric test, being that brighter and bringing out some of the brightness of the acoustic. To me, the pre's on the Amber interface and the acoustic guitar sounded warmer and felt more intimate. And even though the brilliance of those Focusrite preamps works better on the acoustic guitar, I still found it somewhat hyped by comparison. After that test, what more can I say than as a long-term Focusrite user going forward, I'm going to be using one of these because to me, it simply sounds better. One of the things I really like about these Amber interfaces is that they're very self-contained. There's all the buttons on the front of it that you need to operate it, but that said, it does also come with Amber Control, its own bespoke software, which allows you to dive even deeper and get more control over the interface. Along with Amber Control, you also get a whole bunch of freebies bundled in with your interface. You get Bitwig 8-track, completely free. You also get a bunch of stuff from Audified, completely free, including a bass amp and a guitar amp, and a discount code for that too. You get a free copy of Wavelab LE10. You also get Cubasis LE3 and 3000 minutes of Jack Trip. So that's the ESI Audio Amber Series interfaces. I got to say, a very, very pleasant surprise. Not only do I think they sound great, but I really like the options on the front of the interfaces too. They're very hands-on, very easy to use. I really like those monitoring options as well. It just seems like these interfaces have been very carefully developed and thought out before they've gone into production. But at the end of the day, it really does come down to sound. And as I've said already in this video, I'm going to continue using my Amber Series interface over my Focusrite because I think it sounds better. What do you think? Let me know in the comments box below. Whilst you're there, if you want to level up your mixing skills, I've got a free mixing course for you. It's called Pro Mix Method. You'll find the link below this video. Please, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, you definitely want to check this next one out.